Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan of SportsMemo.com, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, pal, and professional sports bettor, Ronald Cabang. Ronald Cabang, how was your weekend? It was just a crazy time for sports lovers. I mean, the Kentucky Derby had some amazing things happen in baseball, and then the NBA stuff going on. I mean, these are things. Other times of the year were better, but this past weekend, especially being Mother's Day, was really, really good.
Yeah, it was a fun time this weekend. Like you mentioned, everything that was going on. You also, we also got the WNBA that got started on Friday as well. So there's a lot going on in the sports world and in sports betting in general. And then obviously Mother's Day yesterday, spent time with the family. So yeah, it was a really great weekend.
Yeah, good stuff. We're both running pretty hot yet in the NBA. In fact, I say that too conservatively. We're running really strong, and um I don't know what else to say. Get over to sportsmemo.com and get that subscription. Get the rest of the NBA, the 30-day subscription package, and you'll be glad you did. Combined, he and I, Ronald's on a 7-2 run. I'm on a 73% run over the last 30. Between the two of us, I think we're 1-2 or 1-3 across the board, no matter what time frame or what kind of filter you use for profitability. So it's all really good. And I'm 5-1 in the NHL, which is the one sport, Raw, where there is no fundamental analysis done, and I make that very clear. But
Yeah.
it's all the numbers. It's all the data. I had the Kings last night as an underdog, and I'm wondering which underdogs tonight in the NBA are going to make the run. We have two series of the four semifinal games right now
Mhm.
reduced to a best of three, and that's because they're tied 2-2. Both road teams need to win, that being the Memphis Grizzlies and the Boston Celtics, to even up their series at 2 games apiece and then make it a best of three, which is a totally different animal once you get past game four and you're tied. Those games not only are exciting, but they are very dramatic sometimes, filled
Mhm.
with all kinds of excitement. But let's take a look at the first one, Ronald, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks are hosting the Boston Celtics here. Uh, Again, the referee, and I don't want to belabor the point, has been just absolutely inconsistently horrid. And
Mhm.
the players are adjusting to that. I just wish there be one play going down the court where somebody missed a shot and didn't throw their arms up in the air, wondering where the whistle was. It takes away from the game.
Yeah.
Did Michael Jordan ever do that? Maybe once or twice. Kobe once or twice. But it's every single play. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't like it when the refs are doing the best they can in any sport. I don't like it when they're being showed up by the participants. But that's
Yeah.
another topic. But in this game, Boston is a 1 point underdog to the Bucks, which is kind of surprising to me. At least the total is 212 and a half. What do you see as the best bet in this game for tonight?
Yeah, this is a tough series. I think just one thing to note too. I believe in this second round, most of the home teams have been winning and covering. At least from what I noticed, 12 straight home games. Home teams have won and are 11-1 against the spread. The last 12 games. The one game was that Celtics Bucks game where I think the line was 2.5, and the Bucks ended up winning by two. So that's one where they won the game but didn't cover. This is just a close series overall. One thing that I was looking at here is towards the Celtics in the first half. There's Celtics are 3-7 straight up, 7-3 against the spread as road dogs in conference games against teams with a winning record. So I'm looking at teams who are playoff potential teams, not just any team throughout the regular season, but that's one trend that I was looking at. They average 106.7 in those games, while allowing 107.2. So there's a slight edge to the Celtics here. But obviously, in this small line, we're asking the Celtics to win this game. So one other thing that I looked at was, how did they do in the first half in those games? So they averaged 52.5 while allowing 50 per game. So in a majority of those games, they had the lead at half, but ended up losing the game outright, and but covering the full game. So there's a lot to look at there, a lot to break down in that situation. But in my opinion, the first half is sort of the way to look here towards the Celtics. Another thing to look at is the Celtics are 11-5 straight up and 10-6 against the spread in revenge spots against teams with a winning record this season, with an average first half margin of about plus 9.4. So this is just a spot where I feel like to avoid any second half issues or reffing mistakes or things like that. I want to focus on the Celtics first half primarily just because the Celtics, I feel like, are a deeper team. And if you watch the last two games, they took advantage of the Bucks second unit. So I think specifically in the second quarter. So for me, my thought process here is just focus on that first half and take the Celtics.
I'm 100% with you, and we didn't discuss any of these games prior to coming on the show. So I am with you here, and I think that's a good thing for the listeners. Boston in the first half line is 21-8 against the first half line, and went on the road and going up against a good team like Milwaukee. It's averaging 23 or more assists per game on the season. They're also 11-2 on the first half line on the road when facing teams that are good shot makers, averaging 46% or more of their shots being made in the second half of games played this season. 15-3 against the first half in road games when facing good passing teams. I mentioned before, 23 or more assists per game, but the game occurring in the second half of this season. That's after game number 41 of the regular season and includes the playoffs. So I think you're right there, Ronald, and I will add the total to it as well. So let's move on to the next game here, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies here. The Memphis Grizzlies, I don't know what to think about Morant's status because I'm just going to say this: if that knee is hurt as badly as it's being reported now, it didn't happen with Powell pulling his leg with his hand. That was a reaction to not getting the ball in his hand. He missed the ball. I don't think that was intentional by any stretch of the imagination. And if you watch Morant's body language right after it happened, it wasn't like he reached down and grimaced. He was looking at the rest because the whistle got blown.
Yeah.
But I do hope he plays. I hope he's as close to 100% as possible, because with him on the court, it's just going to make it a more enjoyable game to watch. And it's really the only chance the Grizzlies have. I mean, they're a 9.5 point underdog right now. It's up to 10.5 actually. And maybe that is news that he's, starting to surface that he's not able to go. The shoot around would be occurring just about right. Well, about another 30, 40 minutes yet for the shoot around news to come out. But maybe he isn't playing, and maybe it was his hand that injured the knee. I have no clue on that. But nevertheless, I hope he plays. What do you see as a best bet opportunity in this one?
Yeah, this is tough just because we don't know Ja's official status. We know his official status; it's doubtful. But at the same time, we don't know if there's any issue. Like you said, the shoot around is going to happen. With how NBA injuries have been going lately, we just never know if he's going to play or not. I just hate to see that Ja might miss this game, but from a betting standpoint, I feel like there's still some room here. With it not being officially out, I feel like there's still room after his status is officially announced that the line does move. If he's finally officially out, it could probably move another half point towards in favor of the Suns here. And if he does play, then obviously it's going to adjust a lot more towards the Grizzlies side. I think this is a spot here, though. If we look at towards the regular season, how the Grizzlies did both straight up and against the spread without Ja Morant. Obviously, this is the playoffs, right? There's a little bit of a difference here. But the thing is, that this line is at double digits, and I feel like the Grizzlies have the depth. We always talk about depth, defense, and coaching, and the Grizzlies have a lot of that here. Obviously, to me, I don't think the Grizzlies have a chance to win this game without Ja. but I do think that they could cover a double-digit spread in this spot here. They were 20-5 straight up, 8-7 against the spread in the regular season without Ja. I just think that the Grizzlies have the ability to keep this close. Maybe this is another thing where we'd look towards the first half. Obviously because the Warriors are a third quarter team, second half team.
My headset's out.
Okay. Did you? I don't know. Let me. But I'll just continue going because I'm not sure if the rest of the folks, JR or JB Brown, down in the and on YouTube, if you guys can hear me, let me know. But my take here is that the Grizzlies cover the double-digit spread, but lose the game. That's my opinion on this one.
Yeah, I can. My headset's acting up a little bit here, but I did hear you the tail part of it. I don't know why it went out, but anyway, I'm sure it was a great breakdown. I have no doubt about that. But I did run a query early today. Game 4's double-digit favorites, and I just actually typed this in the playoffs. Obviously, 8-0 straight up, 6-1-1 against the spread for 86%. The over's 5-3. That would squarely go on the Golden State Warriors here to win this thing obviously by double digits, even more than that. But it is pretty specific. It is series game 4 exact. This is for fun. We'll type in series game 4 and beyond. It's still pretty strong. 47-2 straight up as a double-digit favorite. 31-16-2 for 66% winning bets. The over's 28-21 for 57% winners. So, I believe I didn't hear your breakdown, but I bet you said wait till we get the player status official for Morant before we'd even go to the window.
Yeah.
And assuming that, I like Golden State here. So with that news being so incredibly important, I think what I'm going to do is probably 50%, maybe even 25% pre-flop. Because if he's playing, obviously the line's going to move. But if he's not, that line's probably going to end up at it could be as high as 12.5. So I'd rather have some money in it vested into the game prior to the news, and not more than half for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to our best bet segment here. I just wanted to get these charts through here. And, of course, you can look at these archives as well. Best bets. I think a best bet, and this I'm being sarcastic. I'm going to my dry humor. I think it absolutely sucks that ESPN, in their infinite wisdom, pre-announced the winner of the MVP award.
I actually didn't catch that. Who ended up winning?
The guy from Denver again. What are these guys after that vote? Are they actually watching the games, Ronald? Do they actually study it, or do they just go by popular opinion of where they're from? I don't get it because and Embiid. And granted, the voting took place before this playoff series started. In fact, I think it takes place right at the end of the regular season. But nevertheless, you want to see a guy that's the most valuable player for his team. Just look at the games that Embiid didn't play, and look at the games that he did play. There's no doubt about that. But I just thought it was ridiculous that we're such a society. You get news, even if it's not the right news, or even if it's not correct. You have to be the first one to deliver it, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, John, this could be a good thing for the Sixers because now Embiid has another chip on his shoulder.
You're right.
So
you are absolutely right.
It could definitely be a blessing in disguise for Philly right now.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Dr. Chuck will like hearing that news for sure. But I think my best bet, I'm going to go with the Golden State game here. I also think that this will play over the total in the first half, which is 112.5 points. So two bets on that. The game, Golden State minus 10.5. And I mean, even the first half line is telling you that this is going to go pretty quick paced, especially especially if Morant's not in the game. It behooves Golden State to really run the tempo up if he's not in the game.
Hmm.
And that would be a shame. Like I said, I want to see him play. I want to see them go toe to toe again, and I want to see the officials stay out of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll be
that
my
makes a lot
best
of
bet
sense.
there. And how about
Okay.
you?
Yeah, for me, I think I'm gonna go with the Celtics first half. I think there's a lot of things for me that's pointing in that direction. So, to me, for the best bet in this for this show would be the Celtics first half.
I love it. I absolutely. I'm on that too. It was hard for me to pick the one over the other. I like them equally.
Hmm.
So I think our ultimate best bet of the show is Celtics first half, since we both have the same feeling about that bet.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings us to the end of the show already. It's kind of disappointing, but this is a very exciting time of the year. Make sure you get over to sportsmemo.com. They are running specials for the NBA, for the rest of the NBA, carrying you all the way through to the championship game. And we're both hitting in the 70% range, short term and long term. And it just makes sense that you would go get our subscriptions and save yourself a ton of money. You'll never miss a play. You'll never have to worry about missing a play because as soon as we load it, instantaneously it goes to your email. And
Hmm.
rest assured, that's a good thing because you don't have to worry. Oh, did they put another one out? Did they put another one out? You don't have to worry about a thing.
Hmm.
So anyway, I'll be the $2 man tomorrow, I guess, with two other guys from SportsMemo. I don't know who the other two are
Awesome.
yet. I was hoping that you might be.
No,
Uh,
no,
I think
no.
we were once before. It's a good combination, but we'll see what happens. And I may have a 5%er going out in the NBA, which I will make $2. And that way everybody has no excuse for not getting that $2 5% max play. Anyway, Ronald, thank you for your time as always. We're going to
Yeah.
be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for another edition of the live triple double show. And until then, remember the two things: bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.